Hey there, Clashers, welcome back. So, the Clan War games have come, and Season 1 is officially in the books. We finished out number 2, 1 star shy, even though we beat every single opponent in our division. So let's take a quick look here at how this went down. We got a little bit lucky in weeks 1 and 2. We had a couple of people not doing attacks. But we fixed that right up for the rest of the way. So, won pretty handily with round 4 and 5 and 6. And then round 7 was a little bit closer, but still a pretty clear win for us. And of course, today we finished up round 7, 34-19. So, I'm going to try and take a look at some of these attacks. There are a lot of attacks here. It's just 7 days and 15 attacks. And as you can see here, this one was a mess. We had to leave number 2, 11, and 12. So I think what happened here was we had 2 people not show up at all, and then 1 person attacked a base that was already hit. But the attack I want to take a look at here is from Augustus. So we've got a 10v10 attack coming, and he is bringing the Hog Riders. So he gets a giant down, really easy clan castle lure. I'm going to get the poison on those clan castle troops and then get them taken care of. So baby dragon down up here, and then here come the heroes, and the poison will come down shortly after that. So speed it up a little bit. So there's the poison. It's focused on the balloons there. King's just about to go down, but the wall wrecker's in, and the wall wrecker is actually the one to take out the enemy queen. So we're going to put that back at normal speed. Bowlers move in, queen moves in, and they're going to get quite a bit done right there. So the single target is down and the queen lives. So the hogs are going to come in from the south here, and that's going to protect the queen as she works her way around the south up back towards the east. So a free spell is going to come down for that inferno as well as a heal, as they did take quite a bit of damage from that inferno before it got frozen. So now the hogs move in, take out the inferno, and continue on their way. Something when I was watching this live that made me a bit nervous was the number of skeletons on the Hog Riders. I thought for sure they were going to take out the hogs before they made their way through the defenses, but as we're going to see here, they're going to be able to keep on pushing through these defenses, and the heal spell's pretty well placed. That way they shake off all that splash damage. Now all that's left are those 2 bomb towers, some giant bombs. None of that makes a difference with the heal spell there. So now they can turn, take out the skeletons, and start working on cleanup. Now we're going to speed up the cleanup as we finish watching this nice 3-star from Augustus. Alright, so here we are in our second war. This time around we only had to leave one of the bases standing, as we only had 1 person not show up. But 1 person not showing up is too many people who aren't showing up. Of course, the people who messed up in the previous war, and then the person who did not attack in this war, they were done for the season and removed from the clan. So the hit we're going to see here is a 12v12 from Sed, and he is bringing the Laloon, of course. So he's going to start over here with the heroes, and they're going to move up and take out the town hall before he gets his Laloon portion started. So baby dragon's down. That's going to make that funnel, of course. So the king's going to head up, queen right behind, and then it looks like some traps are there. He'll have to get through those, and then he'll hit the town hall. Luckily, the town hall's not going to fire until he starts beating on it. So there it goes. Very quickly, the town hall is down, and there's that new trap there. Not really doing anything in that spot. So not exactly the best base designs here, but we're going to go with what we get. So the heroes are pretty much done, and now he's starting the Laloon from the southwest and west side. So early haste, and then the balloons are going to come in, followed quickly by the hounds and the blimp. So there they go. Here comes the enemy CC, and he's just going to deal with that on the fly. Poison spell comes down, and then the lava pups are going to work on taking them out. So not a big deal there. Dragon's going to go down very quickly. And then the troops from the clan castle help take down that dragon as well. A couple of rage spells, that's going to push the balloons through, get them smashing through those defenses. And now all that's left is basically just a couple of defenses. He's got some up here that those balloons are going to go take care of. The balloons down here didn't make it, so it got a little bit sketchy there, but the group up here is fairly big. Plus he still has his warden ability over here with the dragons. Not super helpful with the balloons moving through, but it's still there to use. And of course there is still the rage spell. So that's going to come down over here as these guys all start to converge on these last few defenses. So defense is down, now it's just a matter of cleanup, and we're going to speed that up, not even using the warden's ability for the attack. So very nicely done, as always. Alright, so here we are on day 3 where we really picked up the pace on these guys. And honestly, I could have done a whole video on this because we just smashed their top bases. I forget where their Town Hall 12s cut off. We had 6 and this is their number 6. This is a very pathetic Town Hall 12. But anyway, okay, that screen right here is very annoying. So, as I was saying, even though number 6 was a pathetic Town Hall 12, it was still one of their 12s. Below that, we were very mismatched. We had their engineered 11s matched up with our 9s, Town Hall 10s matched up with 9s. This was another engineered 11 here. Alright, so the attack we're going to take a look at here is my 12v12. Not a terribly difficult base here. But anyway, I've got the king in the east and the queen in the south, and they are both working on the funnel for my dragons. Of course, since the king can't reach over walls, I'm going to drop a dragon down here to try and push him through this wall. It doesn't work, he's going to keep walking up that way. But the queen's got a pretty nice funnel established down here. I'll hit her ability right there, and then that's going to help push all my dragons right into the middle of the base here. So I got the dragon's balloons, warden, and the blimp down. The blimp has balloons in it, and once they pop right there, I'm going to drop the clone spell and then give them another rage. And I think I drop a heal in there as well. I'm a little bit too early on the warden's ability. Generally you want to try and get that once they're up in the middle just a little bit more. And if the Town Hall 12 is a 5-star, you want to make sure you're hitting that ability when the Giga Tesla is going to be going off. Because if that goes off and your balloons are unprotected, even if they're at full health, it's going to drop them all. But that goes pretty smooth anyway. The dragons and balloons are pushing through. My cloned balloons are disappearing now, but I've still got quite a few of my own balloons. And I don't think at this point I've lost more than a couple of dragons, if any. So tons of dragons up. We're going to speed up the rest of this attack, and I'm able to use the Dragoon clone to pick up that 3-star. Alright, so here we are with day 4. Again, we did pretty well up top. Had some really questionable hits around the middle here. And of course we cleaned up the very bottom few bases. So, despite the troubles in the middle here, we still ended up winning this pretty handily. 37-13, no troubles here. We're going to take a look at Sebreykov's hit once again up here on their number 1 base. Okay, so he's going to start off with some troops down here at the south of the base. They're making a funnel, a couple of baby dragons doing the same thing. He's going to send a suicide hero entry in here. He's going to get that wall broken open with the wall breakers. The king's going to go in. He will take care of the enemy queen and get the enemy CC lured. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to use his queen to kill the enemy CC because she's going to kind of wander off over towards the east here. And the dragons are, of course, distracted on the king and his barbarians over there. So she's going to end up going down before she gets a chance to shoot any dragons. So speed that up just a little bit. There they go. So the dragons kind of start wandering over. She goes down, they don't make it. And he's just going to go ahead and start his Laloon entry from the northwest here. So there they go. He does have the poison spells, and that's going to put enough of a damper on the dragons to where they're not doing too much damage as the lava pups start taking them out. So a couple of rage spells in here. The eagle's going to go down fairly quickly. It gets a couple more shots off before that, but it does go down. So he's got a poison and a freeze on the dragon, and then another rage spell to try and push those balloons away from the dragons. Down here he's got a couple of dragons of his own out of the clan castle. a whole bunch of balloons still alive, and those enemy CC dragons are still trying to pester his troops there. But at this point, most of the base is destroyed. There are no defenses left, and there is still a whole lava hound, as well as a dragon over here. So the CC will get taken care of, and the cleanup is not going to be hindered at all by it. So very nicely done. We are going to speed up the cleanup as Seb picks up yet another 3-star. So day 5 came. I think we actually got the same score here, but we handled the middle bases quite a bit better than we did in the previous war. Cleared up the bottom. We had more 9s down here that we were able to work with instead of trying to get those 9v10s. We did have a couple of 9v11s here, as you can see. And then the top we handled pretty well. Not quite as many 3-stars as before, but only one base that got 1 star, so that was really the only spot where we really slipped up. But other than that, it looked pretty good. We're going to take a look at I guess it's a 10v11, but it's not a very good Town Hall 11. But it's still a neat one to watch because I was able to get things to push through it and get the 3-star here. So this is my Town Hall 10 here. Alright, so this is the base here I had to attack with my 10. And I'm going to start off at the sweeper up here with a haste spell and some balloons. And the idea with that is, obviously, I want the air sweeper to be down, and I want the clan castle to be lured. So the sweeper goes down, they do get in far enough to take the archer tower out and get the dragon pulled out of the enemy CC. And then the queen's out here in the wide open, so very easy hero entry here. So the poison spell's down, the enemy queen's down, and I didn't realize it, but I actually got a CC lure with a king. So I did get the sweeper down on this side though, and that was helpful, so it wasn't a complete waste, but it was kind of a waste to use the balloons and the haste up there. Anyway, I kind of let the heroes die there, and then I basically just start sending in... Oh, I didn't even come in from the direction I was thinking I did. I came in from behind that sweeper anyway, so that hasted balloon entry was completely wasted. Anyway, I get the balloons hasted in, I get the rage spells down, and then the heal spell is in there somewhere. And I'm surprised I came in from that side since I left the eagle up for quite a bit longer. I think I was trying to make sure I secured the 2-star. But anyway, the eagle goes down. All of my spells are down at this point. I've still got quite a few balloons up, and those balloons out of the clan castle, they're actually really handy. So I've got the last of my balloons down here, and I'm going to drop my baby dragon over here to distract the wizard tower. And so that's going to keep all that splash damage off of this last little group of balloons. Of course, at this point, it looks pretty good for the 3-star. The only thing that could have gone wrong here is if somehow there was an air mine or something that took that baby dragon out, and the wizard tower was able to do enough splash damage to knock those balloons down. But that didn't happen. Everything worked out pretty much perfectly, and I'm able to wrap up a decent little hit here with my Town Hall 10. Day 6, we won pretty handily again. This was actually the number 3 team. They were one of the top clans for the whole thing, but it seemed like with the last few days here, they were really starting to get tired, so they didn't put up the fight that we were expecting. We got quite a few 2-stars up in the top portion here. Ended up with a 1-star down here on one of the 11s and the 10. And then we cleared out the bottom 5 bases, which I think most of those were 9s. 1 or 2 of them may have been 10s, I don't remember exactly. So this time we're going to take a look at one of Monkey's attacks. This is a 12v12. This is actually one of the better 12s we faced. And he's going with the Giant Bow Witch. So basically just putting down the line of giants, the line of witches, and the line of bowlers. And then you want a big chunk of those to follow the wall wrecker in, but you also want some to go around the outside. So if there were anything to be done differently about this hit is to let more of the bowlers follow the witches around the outside. Same thing with some of the giants. So you see some of that did happen down here on the south end. A couple of dragons out of the CC again. That seems to be a pretty common Town Hall 12 clan castle troop. So something to think about when you're planning your attacks and you're not quite sure what they're running in their CCs. We've been seeing that a lot, especially from these, I hate to call them lesser clans, but less competitive clans maybe is a better way to put it. So, I mean, there are a few of us that run double dragons in the clan castles as well, but we also try to mix it up. So obviously we want a variety in our clan castles so they don't hit a couple of the bases and then figure out, oh, this is what we can prepare for. So it looks like things are kind of dying out in the middle. The single target Inferno did stay up, but everything kind of moves out of the way and is going to work its way around counterclockwise up towards the north of the base. Lots of witches, lots of bowlers still alive. At this point, it's pretty clearly a 3-star. We're going to speed up the cleanup here as the skeletons are able to do quite a bit of work. The queen pops her ability there, and then the only thing that's left is the single Inferno. And it is going to take out the queen, but it's not going to be able to handle all these witches and skeletons and bowlers. So, very nicely done from Monkey. Alright, and wrapping things up here at day 7. This was actually one of our, let's say, rougher wars. Not because the team was difficult. We were just having some issues with their bases here for whatever reason. Struggled a little bit on the top few bases. We did get a few of the 2-stars, but a couple of 1-stars as well. Another 1-star down here, and then a few more of the 2-stars. So only ended up with 34 here, and this is basically the reason we ended up number 2, despite the fact that we were the only undefeated clan in the end. So wars like this kind of cost us in the standings, but we still moved up to Masters, so can't complain too much. I would rather be number 2 and undefeated than be number 1 with a loss. Anyway, what we're going to take a look at down here is a 9v9, trying to put as much variety into this little recap as possible. So we're going to take a look at Prag's hits down here on number 14. So here we go. Obviously not a difficult base, but he is bringing a HGHB, which is something you don't see super often. And let's see which way he comes in from. There he is. So he comes in on the corner there, probably not the best directional choice, but he is going to get the funnel there with the wizards, and the giants are going to break through the walls really easily on this base. It's not going to take them any time at all. So here come the heroes and the bowlers. He dropped a baby dragon down here to help push the bowlers into the base, which is actually really good. So if you're going to come in on a corner, that's an excellent addition to your army as a baby dragon, or maybe even a couple of extra wizards to help push the troops in the right direction. Unfortunately, the bowlers did stop down here. They're getting kind of taken out by the bomb tower. Everything else is moving along nicely, though. I think he's lost a couple of healers at this point, but the giants are going to continue pushing their way through. And then he goes ahead and sends the Hog Riders in from the northwest, and hopefully that'll help redirect the giants a little bit to push more through the middle of the base on their way to those other defenses. So yeah, there they go, rerouting through the middle. Hogs are still looking pretty strong over there. He gets a heal down, a little off on the heal, but they run in, get healed up to full health, and then they're going to finish up the rest of the base really easily. Notice the levels on the giant bombs were really low, so they didn't really harm the hogs much. Of course, he still needed that heal there because they were at half health or lower. But lots of giants still up. Only 2 defenses left at this point, and he's still got both heroes with both abilities. We're going to speed up the cleanup on this one as he handles this base nicely for the 3-star. And that is that for our very first Clan War League. I think in the future I'm going to try and separate the video into chunks. That way I can do a couple more attacks recorded per war. This one I wanted to try and cover the whole thing, but also I don't want like a 30 or 40 minute long video. I want to try and keep that as short as possible, because really, who wants to listen to me talk for more than 10-15 minutes? Anyway, yeah, things weren't too bad. I do like the Clan War League. I know there are some differing opinions out there right now. A lot of people still not really warmed up to the idea or the whole process yet. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm sure it's not everybody's cup of tea. I know within our alliance we've had a few clans that it's not their favorite thing in the world. I like it. Of course, it's not perfect. One thing I would like to see changed is I would say take out one of the days and have a break in the middle. Like you have wars on days 1, 2, and 3. Take the war number 4 out, leave that as a break, and then you can finish up with wars 5, 6, and 7. So you would have 2 groups of 3 wars instead of doing 7 wars straight through. I know some people were getting it was getting a little tedious for people there towards the end. And it was really apparent for some of the clans, some of the other clans in our division, which, let's see, that's not what I wanted. Like, yeah, down here, we're seeing a lot lower numbers than we were seeing, like, in round 4, round 5. So, a break would be good. I really like the idea of 1 attack per person, especially with so many wars. Because not only do you have not as many attacks to worry about, but you've got that extra level of strategy that you've got to think about too, and you've got to consider that when you're making your war plans. Our war plans could have been better, but our matchups weren't great. That's another thing people have been complaining about heavily is, these matchups are terrible. But something else you got to consider is you got to give the system some time to make the matchups better. The first war league that your clan participates in is definitely going to be your worst matchups. After you get 3 or 4 war leagues done and out of the way, you should level out to some pretty fair wars. So that's my thought on the whole unfair mismatch thing. It'll work itself out. Some other complaints, obviously, people are saying, we can only put 15 people in, and we only want to include our 15 best, so there's nothing for everyone else in the clan to do for 7 days. And there are ways to work around that as well. You can set up another clan and do clan war leagues in 2 clans. You can, if you're in an alliance or a family, one clan can do war leagues, and the other clan can run random wars. And if you're in a clan war league, you can leave and go to a different clan to do either friendly wars or random spins, even if you're on the roster and participating in clan war league. So you can do 2 different war things at the same time in that way. So I think that's one thing that people really haven't been considering as much as they should be as a solution to there's nothing for a lot of people to do in that time period. And, that's my thought on that. Anyway, not going to drag this video out too much longer, so that's a wrap on that. I'm going to try and get some more regular stuff out, and get some more videos going, try and keep my channel active because this was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to share more of these war leagues with you guys. Anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you liked the video, be sure to click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.